Alright, good morning all, and this is our today's lesson. Even though we've started last week, Firebase integration in Xamarin. How do we integrate Firebase? How do we make use of it? As you all know, Firebase is a real-time database developed by Google. We can use it to serve as a storage engine for you. But as we all know, Firebase is no SQL. It's not an RDBMS. So this link, the guy has done a very good job on the Firebase integration. Maybe you try to search for this, so I will send the link for you here. He has done a good job. He has already stated all that you need to integrate Firebase. And for one to integrate all that, so I think we've discussed all this last week, and now let me log on to the Firebase Console. This is the Firebase Console been opening, and okay, we haven't created the database, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's create okay, before creating database, let's know the kind of application we have in here, which we said it's going to be attendance system. And right here it's giving us an arrow at line 26 that there is this button click and the handler is not found. So let's deal with this first. At main page line 26 here, this handler is not found. I mean, the event handler is not found. So you quickly go to the the .cs of this file, which is this. You know, I told you with time you have to you have to remove this code into a different class or different file rather, so you have a very good looking project, because you don't write just directly as it is on main. Maybe you create a different, but for now let's just understand how we integrate the UI, the Firebase. End of the namespace. End of the namespace. End of the class, right?
Yes.
So within here you need to create either a private or public class. Void, and then you give it end of the what? It's just method. You can call the name of the method. And then here, you see this it is an object, right?
Yes, sir.
So VS Code 2022 comes with this. You can write this. The object is sender. That's the object name of the variable, and then you have event. Event args, right? And then maybe args or E, anyone. So with this now, the arrow will go if you clean, then you rebuild, VS Code 2022, rebuilding for the first time takes time. I don't know why. So running project, when you just created a project and you're running it for the first time, it also takes time. But there are very good features that were introduced in VS Code 2022 actually. While it is running or while it is rebuilding, I think this is the UI we have created last time. We introduced only name and we have done binding, right? We have done binding. That means we have created a view model. Yes. And then the view model is this. Yeah, that's good. Created view model. So that means since we already have view model, we are not directly, interacting with the functionalities from the .cs of the XAML. So that means we'll be writing our functionalities here. Can you recall that I told you something that we normally create something called helper class to enable us to come up with some functionalities easily. So anyway, before that, let's create the database, right? You click on add and give it a name. Let's see, CCL attendance. CCL attendance, for example. Then you continue. If you want to use analytics, that is any kind of analytics, Google Analytics, something, you enable it. If you don't, for now we just want to know how to integrate, but you can enable it. Even if you enable it, we are not going to use it because we just want to know how to integrate for now. Even though maybe this project is going to be actualized, maybe we're going to do it, we're going to pick it later when we are done with what we're doing. We pick it as a project for the class, so people know, who understand how things are going to be done. Then you create the project, you give it some times, and I don't know whether this has finished building. Okay, it is. So now we can run it. Can you see the error is no more? So alright, it has finished creating the project from the side of Firebase. Then you continue. Okay, good. So here this is the console for the something. If you want to see all projects, you click on see all projects. Can you see what we've just created here? So I want to make use of this project, this Firebase project. When I click on it, so I'm directing everything now to the project. Okay, our project from the Xamarin site, that is from VS Code, is now ready, and it has run. So let me check from the visor here. this can again I open to. Okay, this is the project from the Visor. This is our project. Actually, our project wasn't given any color, so it's looking somehow very dull. But that's not the case. We after the functionality, right? Yes, we after the functionality. So we're having two elements here. The components, we are having the name and the CCL number, for example. And then when you click on this, nothing happens, right? So this is let's concentrate. Let's configure the let me off the hot reload. Let's concentrate here first. So what we do here, you already this is what you have. Let's start by selecting the authentication method. What kind of authentication? Even though I'm not going to showcase authentication here, I just want to introduce the insertion of tuple into the children, or rather sending data to the children. Maybe we're going to take another class for authentication, so we shouldn't waste time for this now. Let's just concentrate here. Even for this, let me introduce a real-time database. That is our aim. But of course, we need to register the two projects. So maybe when I'm going to introduce authentication, I'm going to register the two projects and make use of them there in the Xamarin environment. So I want to create a database. I click on create database. This is where you select the region. You know, it's on cloud already, so you need to select which of the regions. These are the available regions: Singapore, Belgium, and United States. Belgium is in Europe, Singapore is in Asia. So you select the one closer to you. So because of latency delay and all that. So which is closer, United States, Europe, or Singapore? Europe? Closer to Nigeria? United States is closer. Yes. Most especially if you are from Lagos, going to United States is going to be something very simple than you going to Europe. But you can still check from the map. You understand it. So then you go to next, and then this we have two things here. We have the stacked. You start on lock mode and you start on test mode. Of course, we are going to talk about the rules. Let's go by the test mode. We're going to talk on rules, authentication, and many other things inclined to the Firebase usage. Then you click on enable. Right, so this is our database being created, and this is the URL. Can you see null here? Tells you nothing has been added. Okay, then you then select this to copy the URL. I'm going to save the URL maybe in Notepad. You can always copy it, but I want to have it handy. This is the URL of our database. So then you come. We are done with configuration for now, but actually there are a lot of remaining configurations here. I want us to be introducing the configurations bit by bit, so it becomes understood, very much understood, than just crashing everything at a time. Since this will enable us to start with some things, So after that, we now move to the connection part of the Firebase, which is what we call Firebase client. But before then, I told you we're going to create something called Firebase Helper. Okay, so this Firebase Helper, that's where you do the connection. You can as well do your connection in view model. So you come to the environment, and then in the model, because the helper looks more like modeling. Oh, sorry, in the view model, not model. In the view model, you right click and add an item, and then this item is a class, a C# class. Then you give it name, Firebase Helper. You can give it any name, Firebase Helper. So that's where you're going to write all the methods needed for the interactions with Firebase. That's where you write everything. Then you add. After adding, you just wait for some seconds. So this is the class already here, and end of the namespace, end of the what? Class. So what are the contents of this Firebase Helper? The contents are that we're going to create kind of the connection. The connection here, it is called Firebase client. Firebase client, and then we give it a name. Then we introduce an object for it, but it's going to be static, and that is our Firebase DB connection, and within it we introduce our URL. Okay, so here we have public static. We want it static, and then Firebase client. This is the class that enables the connection. Of course, there is going to be kind of error message because we haven't integrated any dependency for the Firebase, and we need to do that. So this, now you give it the name Firebase. You can see, so for you to understand what we're doing, my Firebase connection, if you like, client. You understand what I mean? This is your own defined object name, right? The new Firebase client, even though there is an error message here. Please, for simplicity, let's introduce kind of comment. Firebase, or for clarity rather, Firebase client connection. Those from Java side, this is what we call DB connection. And these Firebase clients in Java we call it driver manager, if you can recall. Yes. So this, now if you click on it, it tells you that you have to import some libraries, or you have to import kind of something, Firebase dependency. Firebase dependency. So Firebase client, yes. In this text I told you, this person has already explained everything. So Look at how the console, the whatever, and even the authentication. That's, you can use this as something for the rule. I mean, you can use that. I don't know if maybe we're going to do. Alright, so then this is the nuggets you need to introduce. Firebase database.net. If you introduce this, that error message goes off. It will be normal. That is the nugget package. So if you come to your dependency, you're going to add this on only. Now add the following nugget packages. You add this nugget, you go to the Solution Explorer, add it. You're going to add it in only the .NET standard. Then you also add to Android folder, Android project, and to the remaining folders. If you have iOS, you add it. If you have Universal Windows platform, that is Windows Phone project, you also add. We have only two here, so you're going to add something, which is the Firebase database.net nugget. So you come to this. This is your portable project, that is the .NET standard project. Then you click and then you come to add manage nugget. You manage nugget here, you just type in Firebase. It's from browse. It's supposed to search Firebase database.net. If you're able to add that, you need to be connected to search it from internet. This is what you need, and then it tells you the kind of the version. Of course, you need to pick the highest version, which is 4.0.7, and then you install. And there are ways you make your installation general for all. Instead of me now going down to the Android, to the wherever, you can add from this solution. Okay, if you add from solution, it's going to add everything. You see, you just tick for the .NET standard, the what do you call, the Android, the iOS, and the rest. You see what the error message was saying. The namespace is not found, right? So now we've added. But then we need to add this to the remaining projects we are having. The Android here, you right click it, and just go to manage nugget, and then you add something. Firebase database.net. Firebase database.net. Okay, and then you have to be very careful. This is the one you are adding. Okay, sorry, .net. Firebase database.net. This is the one, right? .net. And then you add. Then you move to the iOS. You also add your manage nugget. Firebase database and install. Okay, so now while it is adding for iOS, if you check from the side of the .NET standard, if you check your dependencies, let me magnify this for you to see clearly. I don't know why this is Let me just up this magnifier. Sometimes when you connect to projector, it tends to have some kind of issues. Okay. So we have successfully added all. So if you check from the packages here, you see what we've added, which is the database Firebase and Firebase database.net, and from here you're going to see it at references, which is here, and same as for the iris. So we're done with that. Let's move to, now we save your project because you've done some changes. Now let's move to the Firebase. That's where we had this. So now it has been added. So can you see now it is saying using, that you should import it. Okay, it's now requesting for input, not an error. It is, of course, it is like an error message, but unlike before. So when you import it, please, those who are using system, just release this, disconnect your message off that system. That people will just be looking at you, don't even listen. So you see now whether you like it or not. Alright, now here we need to add the URL, right? And the URL is in a text, is a string. This is the URL. If you like, you go to your database, your console, copy it from here. It's even better, you copy it from here, then you go to, alright, so we've added what have you added? The URL. So next thing is we introduce the method we are going to be interacting from the Firebase database. So from the recipe I wrote, we're going to introduce this using what we call task. It's a method. So what are we writing on? Okay, ours is we just need two, right? A name and alright. But then this is the structure of the something here. Actually adding tuple into the database, we do give it kind of method as boolean. It's a boolean. In C# you can write bool as the type. So it's a bool. When it is bool, it has only two possibilities. Yes, no, left, right. 1, 0. Is it not? So that's why that's how we're going to introduce it here. Yes. Okay. So here, so immediately after that, I'm going to introduce the method here. which is public static task. You know task T, right? Task, right? And then name of the task. See, add, I think it's comment, go? We are adding comment. Do you know comment? It's comment. Then here I give it the type. It's a bool, and it's always async. Yes. End of the what? End of the method. So here we introduce, I think, name, right? And CCL number, and I don't know why it's complaining for. Okay, public static, I think. No, there is this of course these diagonals. It is add comment, okay. Is it correct? Then you enclose everything within try catch. And you know, we said it is bool. We need to return. It has a type, right? So we need to return. That's why this comment is having something. If it is successfully added, then it is what? True. Otherwise, we're returning true, right? We return true. Otherwise, can you see it has gone off? Otherwise, we return what? Return false. Right? Then we write our method here. Before doing that, what is going to happen for it to be false? This is an exception. Then we call the exception here. You can write on console, or you display a message. You select one, but you know this is inside Firebase Helper. So you are supposed to deal with console. You understand? So you now say console.write, because any kind of method can call this. With console, yes, of course this is okay, but then there is no explanation. There is no defined programmer definition here. It is just from the side of the stack. The object of the exception, right? So you can write something to concatenate. If you like, you introduce the interpolated something here, which says this, right? And then within it you write and introduce your E here. Introduce E here. Then you write something within. You can say error. Try to be defining errors yourself before you even, so it will ease your search when you are dealing with something. Error in what? Adding comment, right? I think we call it public comment there. So we're done with this part. Now from this side, you now call I'm going to use post async, so I have to introduce await. Yes, as it is here, I'm going to use this post async. So await must precede it in order to rhyme with the async here, right? And then with this async on the method. So you call it and call your child, and that is it. So you now say await. Then you call your connection. What is the connection? You said Firebase. Forgot the name. Let's check here. This is the name, right? My Firebase. That's why it's not pulling up. My Firebase. Okay. This is the connection. Then you now say dot child. Child means like your method, maybe. I mean your table. So you give it name. Maybe public comment without space. As you know, file name doesn't take space because it's going to send it there as a file. Public comment. Then what? Dot what? Post async. Okay. Okay. Yes. Then this is where you are going to introduce everything. And once you are done with that, you are done. But then you need to call your table here. Your table must be called, and that table is the model. Look at it here. Data capture. We have this. So once you call it, it enables you to interact with its objects with a variable here. The variable objects. So you now say new drop comment. Drop comment, right? Is it drop comment? So you see, instead of writing, okay, data capture, not drop comment. Is it not? Data capture. Okay, introduce this. So this is now. Then you open curly braces and begin to call all that you have as a variable within it.
Model is data capture, not capture.
Data capture model. I will have only one model, right? Let's correct it. Otherwise, we're going to have issues. Data capture. Okay, capture. This is the model I'm writing. Thank you. We would have run into issues. Data capture model. Yes, let me call it from the root of the project. Then here inside it I have name, right, and CCL number. So that's what we call, right? You now say name and what? Name. Then comma, CCL number. But I think it has to be capital. Okay, that's how it was spelled here, with small letter. Like we're going to have an issue with this. Okay, no problem, but it's supposed not to be like that. Serial number. No. Database query, yes, you want to use query. It's correct. So we done now. If this is true, then it will what? If this is done, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So this is the method that push in like your insert statement. Insert into values, you understand? Table, whatever. Insert into table name values. Then you supply. You need to supply your values within. Your table. Table level. Column levels within the values. That's what we did here. That's how Firebase works. So then next we go to the comment. We go to the view model and introduce our functionality. If you want to use command, you can use command. If you want to just, as we have done, there is no command there. Okay, but if you use command, it's helping you to decouple the codes further. You can use command and you can use just direct method as it is functionality, as we have done, as we have added an event. So if you want to use command, you can follow this. This is you just create this command and you introduce the command here, the method. Then after that, then this is the method now. This is the most important thing. Now this method is going to be added where? In the view model, please. In the view model. And I think we have to introduce commands since we are using view model. Yes. So let's use the command. I'm not going to waste time typing this command. We have dealt with command. So come to view model here. This is view model, right? And this is the end of the setters and getters we had introduced, right? Is it? Then this is our command, and I'm going to create this. Of course, I have to import this command. It's from the Xamarin forms, and this is not created. Okay, so you can just create it, or you go and define it yourself. Generate method drop command. Can you see this? It has generated it for me, but I don't want it. I want it public, so let me do it myself. And here I want to change it to, instead of just drop comment, and let me say drop public comment, for example. And then, like while cleaning, I left something left out. Okay. So within the class, we create public void. This right. not valid. How? Like there is problem with this that that's why sometimes copy and paste is never. Let me just remove this code. Let's write it ourselves. Let me confirm that this is the namespace. Okay. How do we write command? You call it and then you get it right. Public command, the command name, right? Name of command, we say add comment command, for example, right? Sorry. It's like this is not correct. Okay. It's okay. That. Then you return Okay. This is what is called Lambda Operator. Java is also having it. It was introduced in Java in Java 8, and here it is introduced in, I don't know when it was introduced in C#. What is the problem here? Okay. No, it's this. We don't have that here. It's only here. So now you pick this. So this is the comment, right? Command. End of the command. So So below it we introduce public void. Alright, is it end of the method? Thank you. So here we write all that we need. Whenever this command is called, then it does what? It pick up the function, it triggers the functionalities here. But then we shouldn't forget that this command, add comment command or add public comment, command, you need to call this arrow UI. Come to the UI here. Instead of saying this clicked, you need to make it what? Command. Okay, and introduce this in. Is that how we do command? Okay, I think it has to be binded, right?
Yes.
But this command, like, there's supposed to be I think it's within. Anyway, let me I'll check the syntax while we are. It's supposed to be binded like this. Command. We check the syntax. Let's concentrate on. Okay, let me quickly check the syntax. I also have it in this recipe. Is I command, that is please on it. Okay, you see what we did? It's a quote, right? Can you see it here? Command is a quote. That's why it's giving us. I know something is there, but I couldn't recall it. It's supposed not to be just like this. and none of you could do anything. So this is the correct thing, right? Right. Sometimes some commands might skip your memory. So now I think we are almost done. So with this command now, we can test some things to know whether the button is working. Do we understand? So we know what. Let me run it, and then and for this you need to come to the .cs and remove this because it has nowhere to be found. Okay, this button click. Alright, we've already removed it. While it is doing this, while it is running, please let's concentrate on this view model. Yes, view model. Come to the command. Let's write some things here. What do we want to do here? Like this image what has erased. Huh? Okay, thank you. But then it's supposed not to be. You should just search and move to the. No, it's the MS Word is having problem since when I formatted it. System. If you change the font type, it will work. We need to release some of the. Please disconnect your systems from the power. Otherwise, this will off. So we're done with that. Now to the command method. It has run. It has run. So this is our system from the Viso here. If I click, nothing happens because we didn't write anything. Okay, but then let's introduce. You see, no command here. Can we do some things here? Let's check whether there are content. Let's check whether there are contents here in the see. This is the UI, right? So I want to check this is how you check I want to check if this name is having something in, and this is the name, the code behind something given. Where is it? Where is the model here? Dot what? Is it? Let's check on the correct syntax. Okay, it's no longer empty. You just without code, and it's right. It's a variable, right? You know, sometimes in pre-email. Alright. Sorry, I forgot that we have already done setters and getters above for all the variables. So I'm trying to check whether there is something here, and so if it is null or empty, what will happen? You can display alert, right? Right? You can say display alert. Application .main, right? Sorry, .current, right? Application .current, the main page, display alert. This is like your J option pane. So you need these three things here. You now see OK here. Please supply what? Supply name. Error in add comment. Error in add comment because nothing has been added, right? But then if you add something and you click on it, then you can also check whether if clicked, is it accepting? You can say else, right? Then maybe everything, then you see something here, for example. For example, edit, then you reload. Error in what? Add comment, right? And then if you click this, it says data input success. in add comment and field. For example, just want us to understand that it is alternating and the button is working, right? So now let's do the correct thing. So this else is supposed not to be like that. So what you do, maybe anyway, let's just do for the two. That's why I have chosen to not to write many components. Let's say else if, right? So here we want to test for the next string, which is string dot is null or empty. What? CCL number, thank you. We need to pick the one with capital because it is the getter, right? Getter variable. Then I'm going to I don't know whether app works here. In version 12, 2012, so in 2019, it's saying app, and you see it's giving you something, right? Okay, it's working. Yes, it's working. So it's okay. App the current domain page dot this. Here, of course, the same thing, but you supply what? CCL number. Okay. So now down here, if all these are checked, what else? Then you do the actual database data insertion, right? You now say else. So how do you insert? Who can tell me how do we insert? Can you recall that we have created something Firebase here? So we need to call this method from Firebase. And that's why we are going to do this. You see, there are a lot of things you check, right? If you want to check many things. If you have phone number, you need to check, you need to validate. This is what we call validation, right? That is validation. So you implement the Firebase storage here. I think this language is more encompassing than what I wrote here. So where is the model here? Of course, you can even add it as it is here. So then here you need to do this. You need to do this. Of course, await. But then let me explain something. Once you introduce await, then you have to introduce async on the method declaration, right? And the reason why you're introducing await is because you are going to be using methods that requires the await, or methods that are attached to async, right? Like post async and all that. But then, I'm going to call Firebase Helper, that is this class, and inside it I'm going to call this task, this add comment, and already add comment is async. So I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. Already add comment is async. So where I'm calling it from view model here, the data capture view model. So definitely my method has to be what? Async. And the variable I'm introducing has to be what? Await. But then if you want to know in C#, why do we say await and why do we say async? I ask you to conduct research on that, and I'll just pinpoint on anybody among you to give me reasons. Why are we saying async and why are we saying await? Okay. So now I will just give a variable to that will introduce the public comment. I will give a variable, then I will call that Firebase helper and call my method in, which is the add comment. Then I will supply what, the add comment is parametric, right? Is it not? Yes, it is parametric, if you can recall. Add comment is parametric. Then when I call it, then I will supply all the parameters needed. If you come in here, in the Firebase here, can you see two parameters here? So already in here, we have defined setters and getters. We have our parameters, and we have checked that we have checked that parameters have been inserted, and we tested the button. So what you're going to do in nutshell is you introduce a variable here. You now say var adding comment. For example, you can give the name you want. Okay. Then in here I will introduce await, because I know what I'm going to call has async. Then I will call that method, that class called Firebase Helper. Then I will call the method in there I want to use, which is what? Add comment. So you see what it is saying? It is suggesting that you add async here on the add comment, because it is already async. So you can go by this suggestion. Let's try it. Then comma what? CCL number. But the problem we're going to have here is that the comment over there, the method is not defined as async. It's not, even though it is async, but async has not been attached like this. So we have to call it the way it is. Otherwise, you have a problem. I don't know if you understand what I said. Look at Firebase here, Firebase Helper. What is the name of the file? Method. Is async attached? No. But by recommendation, when you're typing, if you want to convert a given method to async, you see that the IDE itself is attaching async on the file name. So you know that it is async whenever you call in it. So, then we're doing something, right? So now with this, it is going to insert these two tuples onto the child called public comment. But then how do you know that insertion is done? You always check your work, right? So you now say if by default, once insertion is done correctly, then it is true. So you now say if this. That means you say what? If true. This is the meaning. If true. Let me write for you here. Is what? If it is true. If it is true. Here even need to introduce this open and close comment, since it is one line. But then, braces, if you introduce it, there's no harm. So if true, what will happen? Let the person that data has been inserted successfully, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so you now say app, that current, if you like application info, application that current, that main page, the display alert, the display alert, okay. Public comment inserted successfully. Then here what? You can just say message if you like. When you say public comment, insertion message, right? Depends what your language. Like it's needed an await here, right? Okay. Then else, what else? What if not? If it is not inserted, then we say it is not. But then catch supposed to be there. We supposed to. Okay, we already have catch there, right? Okay, it is catch. So for the else, that means to move to the catch, right? Yes. So what do? You can also introduce an alert here for the catch. We introduce a debug. You can see arrow here. Let me change this and give it. Sorry, Ridwan. Ilyas Ridwan.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting what is? I know this is new to you, right? Yes, I know. Please concentrate on the other class before you public comment not inserted correctly. Not inserted. Remove this so it doesn't kind of confuse somebody. So let's run. So it is expected that once it is inserted correctly, then what will happen? It will push it to the Firebase there, and then we check from the Firebase Console and whose name? Abubakar, what is your Abubakar? Do you have CCL number? You don't even have CCL number. Subhanallah. Who is having CCL number? Huh? Hassan, alright, Hassan. He has forgotten? Hassan, what's the second name? Yeah, Hassan Idris, yes. Hassan Idris, CCL number, let's see. CCL 2020, 2022. Sorry, CCL Xamarin class. That is Xamarin. Let me make it capital. Xamarin Dev, for example. And 2022/001, for example. Let me copy this. Oh, what have I done? Like I stopped the visor. I think we can search for the app here, right? Well, it will waste our time. Let me just rerun. This is how our system is giving out the signing social number. So then I click on error in add comment. Please supply CCL number. What happened? Huh?
There's no display alert for CCL.
It has no.
Display alert. The CCL number.
Okay, let's check. Let's check what happened. This is a glitch. This is an error. You check from our view model where the functionality is added. Where is the view model? You see there is no what? Let's introduce await here. And here also await. Of course, rebuild. Can you recall that I told you that we have a mistake at a model? That CCL number is supposed to be capital actually. Let's quickly do something. Let me stop it so we correct, because it's going to be referring this class. This is supposed to be capital. Because I have used it as capital there. So, and let me come to here and let's rerun and see what will happen. View model. You know, this is capital, right? And then, okay, before even running in the Firebase here, we need to correct also here. You see here, can you see it has even given it? It has to be capital. Yes. So we are now okay. We are good to go. So let's run it. All right, it has run. Oh. CC on Xamarin Day 2022 001. Copy it to what? Okay, it's not even copy. Please supply CCL number. Let's look into these validation. Maybe from the validation there is a mistake. View model. Okay, maybe from the UI that's not the name given. So let's check the XAML, finding CCL number, Let's check from what we have done here. Name. All right. I think this is correct. Supplies here. Receive string is null or empty. Let me have a thorough checkings on Can you see the difference? Capital O at the end. I don't know if you've seen it. I think that's what is giving us issue. That's why one has to be very careful and you need to be consistent. Let me see from the model, what do we have here? It is also capital O, alright? And you know you're going to be using what is in the model to define what you have in the view. So it's not seeing it as same. I think what I would do, I would rather introduce this completely capital small letter CCL, okay? CCL number like this. Then for this one, okay, for this I think it is correct. Okay, and here also capital A, O. Okay, this is correct. This is correct. But then this. Okay, this has to be as it is. That means I have to we convert the one inside, because I would have just used number instead of saying CCL number. That would be confusing. That is where the problem is. Let's make this small and this as it is there. I think this is the issue. Okay. So it's not even saying that something has been added, because that's the name given in the binding. So one has to be careful actually. Success. Public comment inserted. Okay, insertion. Public comment inserted successfully. So now where do we confirm? You come to the Firebase, and then can you see child here written and no null here, because it is no more null. Then you check, you see your something. If you want to add your name, you can come and add your name. Then you see, as it is like this, after insertion, this name shouldn't be there. Okay, you should clear it. So let's quickly introduce clearing something. You can do that from your view model. A method that clears it. How do you clear? Come to view model. Come down to this. Maybe after this method, create a method and give it name public void clear variables. Okay. End of the what? End of the method. So how do you clear? What are the variables? One is name, right? Is it? And it is, let's take the getter, right? Name equals what? Is it a set? Name equals nothing, right? Yes, very good intelligence. CCL number equals nothing, right? By convention, method name should begin with capital letter. Then, where do I put this? It has to be where it is successfully added. Because, you understand, where it is added successfully. So where is it added successfully? We said true. So if true, so immediately here at this point, you need to be careful. If you have some attached, operations, then you do something anyway, but you can implement it here. If adding comment, that means if it is true, you should do that. Okay. So before even coming here, it has already added. Here you are just checking whether it is true or not, right? So you can erase it at this point. You just introduce the method here. You invoke it here. Maybe somebody will say, okay, why don't we just write the content of the method here? We only need some clarity of codes. We don't just start writing, you understand? So this, if at all, for example, if this clear method has over 10,000 lines of codes, and so you just kind of adding colors to what, because it's not going to disrupt your operations, right? So you keep it there. So now let's see. Let's run. Of course, there are some validations from server-side validations. Maybe we'll do that next, because we're going to create a login, a sign up and login in another. But for this, actually, I will state when. Please start your work. Sign up and login will not stop you from doing your work. But we're going to create a session for sign up and login, authentications, complete, things about authentications and all that. Because without those things, application tends not to be complete actually, and not secured. So this is what we want to, So I want to introduce one error deliberately. We say Hassan Idris, and this is the serial number. I've added the serial number, and I click on. You see, it takes time a little bit for it to do the writing, right? So it depends with your connectivity, speed of your connectivity, and kind of broadband you are using, and all that. So come to here now. Let's check. Can you see it added here? If you click, you see the keys and values here. Okay, this is the next, right? But if this is an attendance, is it not an error adding it like this? So there has to be a validation, kind of validation. You understand? You don't attend kind of something twice, unless if it is a program, not just a class attendance like this, or maybe course-wise or things like that. So I think we're going to stop here. Actually, maybe we'll come up with realistic design for this application and develop it correctly, because this is just a kind of something. This is not correct actually. You cannot be attending, one person should not be attending more than once. So let's check from the side here. Can you see it has cleared it, which is what we have intended to showcase, the clear method. So we're going to stop here for next time, for this very class or lesson. And next we're going to continue from now onward. All our work or all our operations is going to be centered around backend now, completely backend, full stack, not just XAML and all these. We'll be interacting with Firebase, we'll be interacting with queries and all that. Thank you for watching. Good morning all. Right, 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 good morning all. I hope this is not the only thing it has recorded. Right, good morning all. Kai, there is an issue. 0 byte. Huh? Okay, I did not stop it. Is it not?